Greetings, viewers and race fans. This is VIR Forza GT Endurance Hopper. I'm in the Porsche RSR in this beautiful livery. I just love this car. It looks awesome. It was a part of the livery showcase that I had for the Porsche cars. We're in one of the worst iterations of tracks possible for this hopper, but I decided to stick around because I had no time to be choosy. This was actually a race I did before work. I did it on my Mixer channel. And that Audi just decided to take a whole slew of people out, but I benefit from that as I jump from nearly last to 4th place. As this BMW gets a little sideways coming out of turn 1, cuts across the road, and I'm unable to get around him, so I'll just tuck back in behind him. You had Prod Menace up ahead in the Nissan GTR, as well as, I think his name is Schauberman, the German in the Porsche GT4. And then we have Big Cake just in front of us in the BMW GT2. Big amount of battle happening behind me. I don't look behind me. And you'll notice these first several laps, I really don't look behind me. I just focus on the people ahead of me. I just focus on the track. And I don't seem to do too bad while I do that. So, lesson I've learned here is don't worry about what's happening behind you. Focus on what's in front of you. And concentrate on the track. And just try to get around, jump. My whole thing on this race was just trying to make an opportunity happen when the chance presents itself. Like here we are, lap, and this Porsche rides really well on this track. Here we are, Big Cake in the grass, dipping his tires on the grass, not being able to get the power down like he should, so I sneak into 3rd place. These S's here can be quite tricky. If you're not warmed up enough, then they will smack you around. This track can be tricky. 18 laps around this thing was not as daunting as you might think, because the course itself is quite small, but it's for what it lacks in length, it is quite technical. Got this flowing left hand here, which could be... there's a whole slew of problems there. You could go wide into the grass, you could hit the tire wall there. Another thing is we have a forecast for rain, and for whatever reason it just doesn't rain anymore in Forza Motorsport 7. It just gets really, really foggy. So, with that said, we are in lap 3 right now, and I'm in 3rd place, and the battle for the win is on. I still have 15 laps to go, and I'm going to get punted from behind by the GT2 there. And Zena gives him a little nudge, and I kind of finished that off. It wasn't intentional, but I didn't feel bad. He's the one that initially pushed me and messed me up on my whole apex. So, Zena here, Zena 93, in another GT2, in the old school art BMW car. I gotta get around him now. So, working on him. This tight right-hander here is quite deceiving. I go for, an early apex and just kind of cruise out, and then I'm late to the power, but I seem to have pretty good luck here. This is my most inconsistent one, and then we have Credible Racer there, already back markering pretty heavily there on lap 3. Luckily, the back markers are ghosts now, so we don't have to worry about really slow, inconsistent newbie drivers, and then of course the evil ones, the trolls and the back markers that like to ram into people. Don't have to worry about them anymore. So Big Cake directly behind me, yet again, only about a half second behind. Zena holding down his line pretty well, and Prod Menace is pulling away nicely. He's 4 seconds ahead. There's no way any of us can catch up with him if he doesn't make any mistakes. Going through the S's yet again, Zena and Schauberman doing really good. I just jinxed it though, because Zena... Oh, just sim twitches into the grass there. Off into the tire wall. Zena's he can't be happy with that. That is just insane. I just happened to jinx that, and looks like he tried to fix a mistake and it just twitched straight into the grass. So now I am up into 3rd place. Big Cake right behind me, catching up to Schauberman here, and you know that little GT4. It should only be a GT4, but it's keeping up with these GT3s and GTLMs quite nicely, I must say. We're going to jump up to lap 6. Prod did make a mistake. It wasn't anything that was captured on film, and Schauberman was able to get ahead of him. So Prod Menace falls back into second place, losing that big advantage he had in that Nissan GTR that he's in. Now we're just going to form a line, a nice train through the S's here. This track is incredibly hard to do any passing on. It's a really tight technical track, so pretty much you have to have a really great exit going down the main stretch there, or just wait for someone to make a mistake. I back off of Prod Menace just a little bit, because it's not a rush. I make myself present, though. I'm not going to go for a lunge, but I'm going to be on the wrong side of the car there, just to make him wonder if I'm going to lunge, mess him up, make him veer off into the grass. It's kind of a weird way to be offensive. I'm not going to hit him. It's not even like a really good... it's not even a really good point of entry when getting into a turn. But sometimes if you can get behind them and get close enough and get in their head, they'll get psyched out. They'll freak themselves out and they'll go in the grass and then they lose a couple positions. So it's worked out for me in the past. It's kind of a gamble. The people that are more cool, calm, and relaxed and not really paying attention to what's going on behind them, they don't give two shits about what you're doing behind them. They're just going to try to hold their racing line and make sure they're nailing those apexes and hitting the throttle as hard as they can without losing the rear end. So now we're finishing up lap 7 here. I'm actually starting to lose out against the Porsche and GTR up there. So my strategy is, another thing that I'm decent at is, I don't know if it's a skill or if it's maybe just luck, but I'll demonstrate this right here as we go into turn 1 of lap 8. Just the amount of distance I gain with how hard and aggressive I was with my braking. Look how much I'm right behind them now. So that's another thing I like to do. If I'm far back enough and I think it's safe to do and safe to pull off without smashing into someone's bumper, then I will do that to gain some time. Now, if they leave an opening, I will definitely do that, do a dive bomb from hell, trying to make it as clean as possible. But we got Prod going a little too wide on this right-hander here, and I'm just going to tuck right in, and there's nothing he could do about it. Now I just need to catch up to the Porsche, the German, in front of me, and I do so nicely right here. So I was saying his name wrong. It's just Sherman. The extra A's and N's are really messing me up then. There, so Sherman doing a little drifter going down the straight, holds his power down though quite nicely, and I'm unable to catch up with him as we enter lap 9. Incredible Racer falling back behind, and I'm going to do another semi-late break and just be right behind Sherman. Sherman the German. I just pieced that together in the Porsche. So Prod Menace is right behind me, and I'm pretty sure... Oh, and there goes Sherman going into the S's. He makes a mistake, and there's nothing he can do about it as he slides off. He is now going to be about 2 seconds behind us, a second and a half behind me. Prod Menace in second place, Sherman taking third now. And spoiler alert, this is pretty much where it ends. I hold this position down, and I just start pulling away from Sherman and Prod and the rest of the field. Except for I will be showing you the very last lap when someone starts to catch up to me, and I focus too heavily on what's going on behind me, and this is when I get slow. So here we are, lap 17. You just saw I peeked behind me. The guy is 2.5 seconds behind me with the lap to go. No problem. No problem at all. I'm in first place. This guy came out of nowhere. I think his name was... It's blurry on my screen here. Plip-Plop or something like that. So good old Plip-Plop here is just right behind me. And I'm not focused on the road in front of me. I'm not focused on the lap. I'm not focused on my time. I'm more focused and worried about making a mistake. I'm really worried about making a mistake. And in return, I'm making a whole shitload of mistakes. I'm making a lot of mistakes. And... this guy, I can't remember what he was driving. Maybe the Jaguar? And yeah, it's good on the straights, but I have his car beat when it comes to pure grip around these turns. So, lesson learned, focus on what's in front of you, quit looking behind you, because that was really messing me up. See, I'm looking behind me, and I have no reason to be looking behind me. Going late and missing the apex there, I'm trying to salvage it here, did a decent job there. But I'm happy with that. I haven't played the Endurance Forza GT lobby in a very, very long time. Hopped into this before work, into the Porsche. Didn't have a tune ready. It's a tune from like a year and a half ago. And yeah, ended up winning the race. So there's my time, minute 06.4. And the guy that was behind me in second place, he was on a minute and 5 seconds. So, yep, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next race. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen,